Well, guys, here's the situation. Aaron Rodgers' time in Green Bay may be coming to an end, and everyone has an opinion on who shoulders the blame for a possible divorce here. While many are quick to point out Rodgers' prickly personality as the main issue here, it doesn't change the fact that Green Bay has never been ultra-aggressive in either the draft or free agency to give the three-time MVP a full array of offensive weapons to win another Super Bowl, and he's been vocal about that. So, Shannon, who is most to blame for the situation?
Well, I'm blaming the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is not without fault. Skip, it's been reported this morning by Bob McGinn of The Athletic that Aaron Rodgers mocked Brian Gutekunst in team group chats, calling him Jerry Krause. Now, I didn't know you know Bob McGinn. You say he's been around the Packers for some 40 years.
Yeah.
So he's very knowledgeable. He's really tied in to this
organization. For those who don't remember The Last Dance, Jerry Krause was Michael Jordan's GM, and Michael despised
because he would, and I guess he's calling him Jerry Krause because he believes it's about him and not them. Which Jerry Krause believed it was like, I'm doing this. Y'all really ain't doing anything. Skip, look, the whole problem, you can trace it back to a lot of things. And some people say it's about Kumaro. Some say, I've been reading reports that he got upset they were going to re-sign Jerry Cook, and they let Jerry Cook go, and they ended up signing Martellus Bennett for more money, who ended up saying, well, I'm hurt, and then he got out of that and went to New England, won a Super Bowl, yada, yada. There are a lot of things, but I believe a lot of it can be traced back to when they fired his quarterback coach, Alex Van Pelt. I believe that started because that was the first time that I actually heard him speak out and said that he was disappointed that he was kept in the dark, that they were getting rid of him. So now you start with that. And then you come all the way to taking the quarterback in the first round, trading up. Skip, like I said, if you know somebody, Skip, if you're in a relationship, you know Ernestine got certain quirks. You try to stay away from those. Ernestine knows Skip Bayless got certain quirks. She ain't gonna come barging in the room when he watches sports. She knows that. So to keep...
I have no quirks. She has many.
No.
Go ahead.
I've been dealing with you 240 days coming on 5 years.
And I got 240 quirks. Yep.
Exactly. You've been dealing with me for 15 years, 16 probably. So, Skip, if you know that, you know a guy has a certain demeanor or a person has a certain demeanor, you're like, okay, let me try to stay out of that situation. Aaron, I know it's not popular, but we're thinking about taking a quarterback, and if one of the guys that we like is there, we're gonna take him. We might have to even trade up, but we just wanted to keep you in the loop because this is what we think about. Yeah, like I said, Skip, now I don't know how true it is, but I read that they told Andy Dalton, we're gonna select a quarterback. Skip, that's Andy Dalton. You giving Andy Dalton, the guy that just got there.
Yeah, but they paid him a good deal of money for that.
Well, how much you think they paid Aaron Rodgers over the course of the years?
I got it.
Just keep him in the loop.
Yep.
Now, Aaron hasn't handled this the best. I don't believe you should allow someone to hold your feelings hostage. Aaron has not forgiven them for all the things that the ways he feels he's been wrong.
Yep.
And this is what we know about Aaron, Skip. The little bit that we do know, as Brett Favre says, he will hold a grudge, and it doesn't seem to be letting it go. And I don't know if he's going to let it go. It's a tug of war. It's basically saying, like you said, it's like him or me.
Yep.
Do you want to be publicly? Because if you fire Gutekunst, basically you're saying, Aaron, you're in control. You're in control again. And you've done everything you possibly could to seize that control from him. That's why you took Jordan Love. That's why you hired a head coach and didn't tell him. That's why you fired his quarterback coach and didn't tell him. You wanted to seize some of the control because you felt he was getting too much of the control from your organization. And you wanted to, look, you're a player. We run the show here. It's not going to end well.
Okay.
There's enough blame to go around for everybody, Skip, but I just think the Packers, given the circumstance that you got a guy like that, you have to handle those guys with kid gloves. You just do, Skip.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's the right thing. I get it, but you just do.
Okay. I hear you, but I have a question for you.
Yes.
Obviously, both sides deserve some blame. In the end, I believe Aaron deserves far more blame than the Packers do. But here's the question. Let's do the hypothetical.
Okay.
Let's say on draft night 2 years ago, as they're on the clock and they realize they have a trade in place, because you never know until it falls into your lap.
Correct.
Will that team trade with you so you can vault up into the first round to take Jordan Love? Yep, it's going to happen.
Right.
You are on the clock. It's 10 minutes that you have. So maybe 5 minutes into your 10-minute period that you have, you say, oh, my God, we got to call Aaron. if you call Aaron and he's sitting up in Malibu, kick back, what's he called, drinking his sleeves of tequila, right?
Tequila, yeah.
Okay.
He used to be on that scotch. He was on tequila
okay,
now.
tequila. Okay. And you say, you tell him what? Hey, Aaron, we're about to draft your replacement. Is that
Skip,
what you do?
No,
Skip.
Skip.
Would he have liked that more?
No, Skip. I believe that you go into the draft, you say, Aaron, if things break our way, we're probably going to take a quarterback in the first round. We don't know definitively, but
would that soften the blow anymore?
I believe it would have.
How?
Because, Skip, you give him a heads up, he doesn't feel like he's blindsided. Skip, it's still going to hurt. It's like in a relationship. If you tell a party, I want to leave the relationship, as opposed to doing shady stuff behind the person's back and they finding out. That's what happened. They went shady, and then it became public. It was TMZ caught the story and saw your significant other out with somebody else. She could have just told you. It was going to hurt the same. But at least you would have had the heads up. At least he would have had the heads up. But they didn't do that. They tried to be shady.
We're thinking about replacing you, and if it falls on our way in the draft, we're going to take your replacement. That's an awkward conversation to have with that diva.
Skip, you don't phrase it like that, Aaron. We're taking the guy that's going to replace you. Aaron, we're looking to take a quarterback in the draft. Skip, it's all about presentation. Skip, sometimes the food ain't even good, but they present it in such a way you're like, I want some of that. That look good. You the presentation was A. The taste is an F. Skip, it's all about presentation, how you say things. Like, you presented that to me. You're like, you know what? I thought you were going to, hey, you was a good tight end. Oh, I take Tebow. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You was presenting it. You was presenting it. It started out good. It didn't end well.
Okay. You always warn me about context. You have to remember what the context was.
Yes.
So I'm going to remind you where we were a year ago.
Yes.
The context was not good for Aaron Rodgers 1 year ago, because less than a year ago, it was June 8th of 2020, your favorite website, Pro Football Focus.
Right.
Did a top 50 players in the NFL, and they left off your man, Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And what was their logic in doing that? You did not love it, but their logic was Rodgers has become ever more evidently part of the problem in Green Bay, and his own team spent the offseason laying plans to minimize his role in 2020 and replace him beyond that.
Right.
Rodgers finished the regular season, this is 2 years ago, as the number 9 ranked quarterback in the league by their grading system.
Still top 10.
Yep, and he was just 17th in their grading system from week 8 onwards, okay? So my point is, I kept telling you for 5 straight years through, this is going back through 2019, for 5 straight years, his numbers had fallen in QBR and in passing completion percentage.
Right.
Completion percentage. They had gone down, 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 down. Okay, so they had gone 13-3 that year, but even you admitted it seemed to be a fraudulent 13-3. And they wound up in the NFC Championship game at San Francisco, and Aaron stunk it up once again in a championship game with a QBR in that game of 33 on a scale of 0 to 100. It's his worst QBR in any playoff game, and that made him 1-3 in championship games, and he just now fell, as you know, to 1-4 in championship games.
So let this sink in. A guy that Pro Football Focus had ranked had the ninth best season as for a quarterback, went to the NFC Championship game, and his teams tried to replace him. And that same team, as they tried to replace him, the same publication said he was outside of the top 50, and he wins the MVP. Now let that sink in.
It was a great bounce back.
Hold on,
it was a touche. I give you that.
When have we ever seen a player ranked that low? So either he wasn't that bad, or they were terribly, terribly mistaken in their judging.
I don't think they were mistaken at all, but he had won 2 MVPs before.
But Skip, I'm trying to figure out, how can a guy have the 9th best ranking as a quarterback in all the football and be outside of the top 50? You told me the quarterback is the most important position. You said quarterback should occupy the top 20 position.
I do agree with that. I would have had him in my top 50, but again, he was just 17th ranked from week 8 on. So the whole back end of the schedule, he wasn't even average. He was a little below average.
I mean, but let that sink in, Skip. They say the guy's not top 50. He threw 26 touchdowns with 4 interceptions and had a team in the NFC Championship game.
Okay, I got it. But down, down, down had come his stats, and they were screaming, aging, 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 time to move forward. So they said, we've got to move forward.
Skip, but see, what the thing that y'all do with Aaron Rodgers is y'all take him at his absolute apex, and you judge everything off the season in which he went 46-5. If you judge Patrick Mahomes on 50-12, well, his stats are going to come down, down, down.
Okay.
We never did that with Brady. We never did that with Manning. We never did that with Drew Brees. We've never measured them by their best and kept them there. Because if we did, Tom Brady has had down, down seasons after that 5,000 and that 48 touchdown, 5,000 season.
So I believe that Aaron Rodgers' attack on the Green Bay management, and it has become an all-out attack through leaks.
Yeah,
leakage
it's a cyber attack.
Okay, it's a cyber attack. I'll give you that. It's all about blame deflection because he is a shrewd operator, and he knows that he is now 1-4 in championship games.
Right.
And in those 5 games, he's thrown 9 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions. 9 to 8.
You know what, Skip?
Yeah.
That's all the more reason you should get rid of him because he can't win the big game. So why would you want to hold on to a guy that's blame deflecting, can't win the big games? Why would you want that guy in your locker room?
Okay, but have they done him wrong? When I look at all the Pro Bowlers that he has been able to play with, and they've been acquired through the draft or free agency or different ways that they had to sign these, but I'll just read a few. If we start back when Aaron was the starting quarterback in 2008, Charles Woodson, Nick Collins, Al Harris, Clay Matthews, Greg Jennings, Tramon Williams, Chad Clifton, John Kuhn, B.J. Raji, then Jeff Saturday, Josh